lot of stars for you on Sunday Night Football.
Ladies and gentlemen, cancel the dinner plans, tell your date you're busy, and get that pre-workout in because it's Friday night in Cordis, and the Wanderers are back. We're live from South Cordis Arena where the grass is green, the floodlights work, and the tension is thicker than Marcellus Paul's upcoming therapy bills. My name is Danny Boyle, and I'm joined by our resident tactics whisperer, Miles Carter, and of course the ever-charismatic Sophia Vega. It's the Durham Wanderers versus the Durham Lions. A unique rivalry where both teams need to come ready for a fight.
It's not just a rivalry in name Danny. These two sides have real history. Last year, the Wanderers knocked the Lions out of the Campbell Cup with just 10 men. They played them off the park. This year, the Lions will return most likely lined up in a 4-5-1 formation that's built to frustrate the Wanderers' midfielders. It's a clogfest that requires tactical adjustment, and Angelo knows it.
Oh, he knows it all right. That's why he signed half of Ontario in the offseason. We hear he has 80 players on the roster, like he's collecting Panini stickers. And he'll need them tonight, too, because the Wanderers are short-staffed.
But first, let's go back to the 7-0 shellacking they handed the boys last week. It wasn't a football match, it was a therapy session. A double from Yanni and goals from Jemuel Paul, Marco Brusco, Cole Edwards, Cash Collins, and another from the man of the match, Lucas Joel. A tidy finish from outside the box had everyone celebrating, except for Trevor Hill, who was heard screaming from the sidelines. That took a deflection. It was an own goal. We have more to come on Hill shortly, but over to Miles first to talk about Jemuel.
Thanks, Danny. That's back-to-back goals for Jemuel Paul. Unfortunately, both Paul brothers are missing tonight as they're off to some chaos-filled bachelor party. Jemuel earned the night off, but Marcellus? He might just be found later tonight, face down in a stripper's lap, slurring about his finishing like it's some deep childhood trauma. She won't even need to take her top off. She'll just light a cigarette, listen patiently, and think. If he finishes on the pitch like he does in bed, no wonder he's crying.
Meanwhile, Marco Brusco scored the best goal of the game. It's a shame he won't hear about it unless Angelo mails him this recorded broadcast on a VHS videotape. And if he does, we sure hope he doesn't use one of his parents' Benny Hill's videotapes again. Last time he did that, his mom expected to walk in on her favorite comedy show and instead got a front row seat to the last thing her sweet son saw before he finished himself like a Mortal Kombat fatality. The look on her face was like she'd just walked into a crime scene. Those tapes are so sticky and crusty. They're less VHS and more of a biohazard.
Nasty Sophia. But quickly, can we talk about Aldo Majorano's return? He came back looking sharp, rocking a fresh haircut like he was gearing up for Fiesta Week. But the real headline came when he dropped a bold promise in his post-game interview indicating that he would be receiving no cards this season. But why, you might ask yourself? Well, my guess is that I think it's because he's juggling a mortgage, a wedding to pay for, and has zero budget for suspensions. That's not just discipline, that's straight-up financial survival.
Aldo playing responsible football, that's like Cole Edwards, scoring with his feet instead of bicycle kicks. Word is Cole's refusing to score unless it's acrobatic. Rumor has it he was upset after he scored because it wasn't flashy enough. At his age, though, it should be less bicycle kicks and more avoid a slipped disc waiting to happen. Also, the back line was immense. Steven Sforza looked fantastic alongside Cale Hardin, who was classy on the ball and tough in the challenge. With that mustache, those black Copa Mundials, and the smell of cheap Port Perry Island Reserve native cigarettes, he's like the reincarnation of Carlo Ancelotti in his prime minus the Champions League medals.
Also, we can't forget Cash with the penalty, even though the real scandal was him stripping it away from Jordan Sutherland, who earned it. Sutherland looked like a natural at left back and looked extremely confident when stepping up to the spot. That didn't stop Cash from popping up like a creepy uncle at a sleepover, catching a quick peek when nobody's looking. Good thing Cash converted. Otherwise, it might have led to a second hamstring problem.
You're right, Sophia. And this says a lot about this team's dynamics. Cash has taken over penalty duties after Angelo officially took the spot away from Trevor Hill after confirming in a post-match interview. Hill is still fighting his way back to fitness, and the Wanderers will want him back sooner than later. But here comes the real drama. Cameras caught Angelo whispering bye-bye and waving at him while watching Santos, Paul, and Joel run the midfield like they were auditioning for Barcelona.
Ianari is going to have another full-blown selection migraine. Santos clocked 7 kilometers last match, according to Garmin.com. He's out here defying aging like he's on Red Bull and the finest Mexican marching powder north of Tijuana. But don't get it twisted, as Father Time's still tapping his watch. And the Gulag has Santos's name carved in the wall like it's a prison tattoo. This is especially true if Trevor comes back like a boomerang-shaped dildo that always finds its way back to fuck you in the ass so hard, you're benched under the guise of Angelo's so-called recovery plan. Santos knows this, and there's whispers swirling in the deep corners of the dark web with reports suggesting he's hunting for a hitman to go full Tanya Harding on Hill's calf, which is holding on like Angelo's asshole before kickoff. Nervous as hell, ass cheeks clenching for dear life, and pacing around looking for a clean porta potty that just doesn't exist.
Is there such a thing, Sophia? Anyways, folks, enough about last week. Let's dive into tonight's subplots. Blake Howsam isn't sweating the lineup or even lacing up his boots. He's laser-focused on one thing, and that's post-match hot dogs. Word is he's planning to slap on an apron, channel his inner grill master, and start a full-blown cookout war with Azuri. Picture Blake with a spatula in one hand, tongs in the other, challenging their whole team to a BBQ showdown that might end in a stolen Speedini scandal. I haven't seen him this hyped since the season-end pub crawl when he blacked out at Pearson Pub and somehow managed to walk himself home backwards.
Don't go there, Danny. The biggest story really surrounds Yanni Chauke. The golden boy might just be sitting this one out. Rumor has it his loyalty's wobblier than a 3-legged stool. Some say he's dodging the awkwardness of facing the Lions. However, there's the darker and juicier gossip. Whispers about sketchy backroom deals and shady texts are suggesting he might be compromised. Word is he's even been spotted wearing a #TrueBallers shirt, while wearing a lion mask to hide his identity while running errands around Whitby. This saga could turn into the league's longest-running soap opera, and I'm here for every episode.
Well, folks, it's Friday, and tonight it all starts at 7 p.m., under the lights at the South Cordis Arena grass field. The Wanderers will be hungrier for another win, even with a depleted lineup. They could be without Aldo Maiorano, Trevor Hill, Marcus Joseph, and goalie David Renda. On top of that, it's a battle for fitness, and they'll be hoping for the return of Matt Craven and Cash Collins, who suffered a hamstring injury during the previous match against the boys. That said, the Lions are the team which dismantled the Wanderers 4-0 in the 2024 regular outdoor season, followed by a victory in the 2025 indoor season where they beat the Wanderers 2-1. If they have a full team, it won't be easy for the Wanderers, that's for sure.
So, settle in, everyone, and grab some cold ones. Make sure to silence your phones because this game, it's about to get as dirty as the post-game coverage live at the Courtyard Pub.
Don't miss this, everyone. The Durham Wanderers go head-to-head with the unpredictable Durham Lions live and only on NBC Sports. We'll see you later tonight.